appreciate Punjab didn't make the playoffs, but obviously with all the England guys coming back, it sounds like in India there's been a bit of disquiet about that, a bit of frustration that England guys have just come back at this exact point in time. Can you explain it from the players' point of view? Were you always expecting to come back? How did it work?
Yeah, I think it was a decision obviously that was made, that probably the right thing for us all to come back, and I think it was only fair, I guess, for all franchises to lose a player each or so. Obviously Punjab, we had a few more players and unfortunately didn't qualify, but I guess it would have been quite harsh if some franchises got to keep a couple players and then some didn't, so I guess that's the fairest way of doing it. But yeah, I think Joss and Motti and Kesey obviously wanted us all back together for this series. I think it makes great sense because obviously we want to be playing as a team, get used to our roles like I said, and it's quite hard when you go tournament to tournament and then straight into a big tournament like that where you haven't really played together. So I think it's a hugely important series, and especially with it being just the 15 right now is good.
And are you happy to see the back of the Impact sub for now?
Yeah, I think the Impact, they've obviously brought it in there, but I think international cricket will be nice without it. But it's obviously an addition that some people like, some people don't. But yeah, I think certainly the scores might be a little bit lower.
Yeah, are you a fan, or do you?
Not really. I think it's one of those things where I guess it's playing 12 players really. It's kind of if you don't bat well, you just lob in another batter, and if you don't bowl well, you just lob in another bowler. So I don't think there's much kind of. It's a tricky one. Like the scores have gone up, it's been incredible to watch, but at the same time, it's maybe the tactical side of picking 11 can get. Obviously, being captain at Punjab can be quite confusing. Kind of, is it going to turn? Shall we put him as an Impact player? Shall we not? So it makes it a little bit confusing maybe.
Last one, Matt, please. Thank you.
Hi Sam, just wanted to ask about Liam Livingstone. I think he left a couple of days before you. Do you think he's all right heading into the series?
Yeah, I think he's fine. Yeah, I think that was the decision he made. He obviously wanted to get his knee sorted before the series, and obviously with I guess Punjab, we were out the tournament, and it made sense for him to make sure his body's right for the World Cup. So yeah, from what I know, I think he'll be good to go on Wednesday.
And generally, I suppose you guys have spent a lot of time together this winter. He's probably not quite had the winter he would have wanted in terms of his performances. What do you sort of sense for him ahead of this series?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. We're playing so much cricket as well, so it's kind of I feel like Livy's such an X factor player. He brings so much to all teams. Like you said, I've played so many teams within this winter. Actually, all the teams, South Africa, IPL, and obviously with England. So one of my good mates, and yeah, backing him to obviously come good. He's that three-dimensional cricketer that the side has, and everyone's seen what he's done with England in previous years. And I think it was Pakistan, he got that 100, didn't he? So yeah, I think he's hugely excited. It's like I said, when we arrived this morning, the buzz around the group it seems like we're back to our kind of energy, and that feels like the boys are really fizzed about this trophy hopefully coming back.
It must have been almost a career sort of high moment for you.
Yeah, huge. It's obviously probably my proudest and career highlight, no doubt. Like I said, everyone asked about that day. It was quite like a blur. It's when you're playing your best cricket, I find you almost in your bubble and you're kind of doing your best for the team. And yeah, that was an incredible day against Pakistan in Melbourne. I felt like we played them a lot during that lead into that World Cup, and then obviously we're doing it again now. So hopefully similar type of way it goes. But yeah, I think it's just a hugely exciting period. Like I said, even coming down yesterday as a team get together, it feels like we've been apart for quite a while. So all the energy, the banter, and I guess that's all coming back, which is really nice. And just a couple of good days training before the game.
And with it being T20, is that tournament the one that's most relevant in terms of this team? Or because we go back to India a few months ago, and obviously things defending champions, and it sort of veered off course a wee bit. Like, do you try and put that to one side and park it and focus on 22, or do you actually want to look at that and work out things you could do better and look at where things went wrong?
I think we always look to do things better, but obviously it's a different format that's going to be exciting. Guys are obviously playing a lot of T20 cricket over the winter, every player, so that'll be a format we're probably familiar with right now. And yeah, I think you got to keep looking forward. I think the pure focus now for the next, I guess, 8 weeks will be that. So yeah, I think it's hugely exciting. It's a really nice vibe in the group. Some obviously guys coming off some really good IPL form and obviously county form as well. So yeah, I think the group's in a good place.
We'll go Lawrence and then Ali.
Hi Sam, you're talking about wanting to look forward, but presumably you've all had a long think about what happened in India. Have you been able to sort of reach a conclusion about where it went wrong and what lessons you could take into this tournament?
Like I said, it's a totally different format, so that's obviously a change. I think as players, you probably naturally, on your time off, have a reflection on your own game and where you could improve. So I'm sure all players have looked at that. But yeah, I think I'm a big believer in a big player to kind of move forward. I guess that's the kind of, I always like to look forward, and those big moments you kind of learn from where you went wrong, and moving forward, I hope that we can start well. But I think that's a player's responsibility, is look at your own game and in training. And yeah, I think it's exciting at the start of a new World Cup. I think this series is really important, like I said, because in the past, maybe going to India, we didn't have that kind of build-in that we got this time. So I think that's the big reason why we all come back, because we want to make sure our preparation is good.
And your own game, you say it's players' responsibility to look at their own games. How did you assess your own performance there, and what could you do different this time?
Yeah, well, I obviously didn't play huge amounts in the 50 over World Cup, but yeah, always looking to improve. Obviously had an IPL season there as well. So again, the game's moving really fast. So the scores are getting bigger. Bowlers are improving, batsmen are improving, fielding, everything. The game's moving quick. So I feel like you've got to add different strings to your bow, and yeah, international cricket will be, I guess, slightly different. You're obviously more familiar with your roles and your guys you play probably more cricket with. But yeah, I think really excited for the West Indies. We had a good tour there previously before Christmas, where we obviously learned from those conditions, and I think the West Indies conditions will be so different to what India is. So each ground will be different, but I think whichever country adapts the best will do well.